Now to a 13 Wham investigation. When the contractor he hired suddenly stopped work, an Ogden man went to police trying to recoup tens of thousands of dollars.
But 2.5 years later, still no money. That's when he turned to 13 Wham News. Jane Flash investigates how this happened and what's being done now.
John Gigliotti never thought building his dream home would become such a nightmare.
They took $45,000 and I had to borrow another $60,000 to get another builder to complete the house.
Gigliotti hired Cahoon Construction. A signed contract spells out an agreement to pay in increments as the work progressed. Gigliotti says his first check got him this: a cleared lot and partial foundation walls. A second payment was for framing and a roof. But Gigliotti claims in November 2012 the builder halted the work and blamed a permit snag. Emails from the town suggest otherwise.
The project may proceed. That was November, okay?
Wow,
and
okay.
he would never go back to work. They can't say that they weren't allowed on the property because there it is right in front of you.
The attorney Gigliotti originally hired to fight the town instead found something else. The down payment checks were endorsed by John Cahoon and deposited into a personal account, not an escrow account as required by law.
After a couple meetings, my lawyer told me, he goes, "John, I think these guys are crooks."
We tracked Cahoon down at his Rochester home. On 2 separate occasions, the person inside would not answer the door. Gigliotti went to state police in March of 2013. For months, he waited with a house that still looked like this. Out of frustration, he hired a new builder and took out another loan. With $105,000 now tied up in his house, he called his state senator. In July of 2013, Senator Joe Robach called on the district attorney to obtain subpoenas state police needed to make their case.
I'm really disappointed in the district attorney's office. I see no sense of urgency. I just think this has dragged on far too long.
I certainly understand and appreciate Mr. Gigliotti's concerns and sympathize with him.
Assistant District Attorney James Egan was assigned this case back in October.
We had to subpoena and obtain certain records, talk to multiple witnesses, research certain aspects of the law, because it's a little bit more complicated theory of larceny than we typically see.
Later that same month, John E. Cahoon was arrested, charged with stealing over half of the money he was paid. The criminal investigation did not end with the arrest. 13 Wham News has learned state police turned over new subpoenaed information just last Friday, and the case is now scheduled for grand jury action. John Gigliotti has since moved into the house he paid for twice. 2.5 years later, the courts may finally be catching up with the man who he believes is responsible.
I can't say the words I want to use on camera. It's, I would have to spew a lot of profanity to tell you my frustration.
Jane Flash, 13 Wham News.
And John Cahoon pleaded not guilty to 1 count of grand larceny. The grand jury may consider more charges.
Yeah, and our attempts to reach Cahoon over the last month were not successful. His last known attorney did not return our request for comment.